At the end of some of the most difficult experiences lies the greatest lessons. For example, the last few days I have been experiencing a nightmare of time. My daughter and I were so sick that I didn't think I would make it out. So deathly ill. I don't even think I've ever been that sick. And during it, I was being pushed to an edge that I didn't even realize that was harboring in my body and in my mind. When I was, let me put this in perspective. My husband has been working a special project. That means he's worked a whole shift, a whole week of graveyards straight into a special project, 12-hour shifts, all week long, graveyards, and then straight back into his work week of graveyards. So we have that going on. I have 3 kids in the house that have been taken care of. And my daughter and I, Mooney and I, got so brutally ill. And one night, my fever was like climbing up. Her fever was climbing up. She didn't sleep the entire night. I stood with her and rocked her and sat in the bed upright. I couldn't lean back at all. I had to sit upright and stand with her because she couldn't breathe. I had to take like 6 showers to steam her out. Meanwhile, I felt like I was dying and having to help the 2 boys. When my fever got so bad, I had such extreme anxiety come to the surface to the point that I felt actually high, like a bad trip. And I started to get thoughts like everything was being pushed out. I feel like I was detoxing some demons or something. And all I wanted to do in my head, all I could think of was I just want to die. I was sleepless, trying to help my daughter, trying to help the boys. I didn't think I could make it out. I still feel crappy, but the fact that that happened a few days ago and I'm slowly creeping out of it, I just kept thinking about the fact that in life, we've gone through, every one of us has gone through something where we are in the moment absolutely at our wits' end, where we want to give up, whether it's sickness, heartbreak, some trauma from family, or loss of a job, loss of anything, where it feels like the end of the world and it hurts so badly, whether physical, emotional, spiritually, it hurts so badly that all we want to do and all we resort to, maybe it can't just be me. I know that maybe I feel extreme because other people in my life don't do that, but there's gotta be other people that when they're suffering similar to me, they just want to die, because that's the emotion that I've always kind of felt, is like I just want it to end. But when you somehow manage to push yourself through, you realize how incredibly strong you are. And the most potent lessons come out of the times where you want to give up and you feel and truly believe in your heart that you cannot keep going forward and you can't make it out, yet you proceed to do so. The gift and the awareness of how all I can keep saying is how incredibly strong you are and resilient you are comes through. What a blessing. Like Ram Dass says, things that push us so far but bring blessings and growth, it's fierce grace. Me going through that with Mooney that one night, sleepless for days on end because of my husband's work situation, being really ill, having my baby girl be ill, having to take care of 2 other boys, and then the next day while my husband sleeps, do the whole day without sleep with all of the kids. In the midst of it too, Mooney and I sat while we were super sick and cried together, and I kept praying to God. I kept saying, please, please just take this away, let this end, and I kept saying, I want to take all of her sickness, like put it into me, I want to take all of her sickness and have it for myself. And none of that really happened. No matter how much I prayed for it to end, in that moment, it didn't. But what I realized was the more I prayed about it, the more it was just the fact that my answers were being or being heard, not in the way that I wanted, but they were being heard through the fact that I had to really grow some thick skin in that night. I had to have strength that I didn't think I was capable of. My prayer to have someone else remove me from that pain didn't stop. I was gifted maybe, or maybe it already resided, but I was gifted the realization afterwards that I had it in me to go through that when I didn't believe that I did. So that's a little lesson that I learned the last few days. And on top of that, this extremely chaotic this extremely chaotic experience, this painful experience, this excruciatingly exhausting experience for both my daughter and I also made me realize my initial sickness started off with my throat, and I extremely on fire. I couldn't breathe. It was inflamed. It started off that way, and it was so bad, and I kept thinking about my throat and my body, and I just kept thinking, what is my body trying to tell me? Yes, science says that I contracted a sickness, obviously, but I kept asking myself, what is my body screaming at me right now? And it was especially geared towards my throat. I couldn't speak. And the only words I could get out were so little. It hurt so bad to speak that what I could say had to be so limited and precise, especially when communicating to the kids what I needed, what I needed them to hear. I had to be concise, short, and it made me realize that my body was telling me that my voice needs to be intentionally used for communicating the truth, and to not just make noise, to not just get things out into the world for the sake of getting it out, but to use my voice and my words to either help others or to create clarity for myself or others. And in my personal life, I feel like I wasn't doing that. Even with my videos, I feel like I was just producing videos of me going through something just to make them. I wasn't being as intentional this last week with my videos, and my sickness brought upon this idea that I needed to focus more on intentionality with my words, and it's not about the quantity of your speech, but rather the quality of your speech and the quality of your message. And so the last few days has reminded me so much why we suffer. Why suffering is fierce grace. Why sickness, illness, pain in your heart and your body slows everything down significantly. It slows your world down, and then it makes you reappreciate when you're healthy and when everything is in order. And we all hate being sick. We all hate being depressed, anxious, having difficult times in our lives, but these things are a necessity for us to let go, to physically detox, emotionally detox, and to self-reflect on how much gratitude we should be bringing into our life when things are good. And they make us realize that when the extreme event is over, that life isn't as bad as you think, and that we always have the opportunity to let go of it. And we do have so much more strength than we're aware of. I guess we just have to be pushed so far to the point of not feeling or believing that we have it in us, and then making it out of it on your own and realizing, damn, I did have it in me. I just have to believe in myself. I just have to believe that I have the strength and I have the capacity to overcome anything, all on my own. And yes, me praying to God for help it's just as valid and useful, and it did benefit me. But at the end of the day, the answer that I feel like I got from God or universe or whatever you feel that is personal to your life, whatever you align with, for me, I felt like God was trying to tell me, I'm not taking this away from you until you realize that you can overcome it. So that was my lesson. You are so much stronger than you think. We need to give ourselves more credit for how far we've come. The fact that we are here now, and we're still alive, and we're still managing, and we're still pressing forward is a testament and a sign that we have so much internal power. And sometimes we just need to be reminded by the challenges in life and the obstacles that we overcome. I hope you guys are not as sick as my daughter and I were. It was brutal and gruesome, but if you are, just know it will pass. It will pass, and the light of day will come again. It's all fierce grace. Suffering is fierce grace.